Duncan and Ranking Member DeGette for allowing me to wave on to today's hearing, and thanks to our commissioners for coming. Nuclear power currently provides approximately 30% of the electricity that is utilized in my home state of Pennsylvania, and I am excited about the interest in Pennsylvania's existing nuclear fleet. Amazon is looking to build data centers near the Susquehanna Steam Electric Station, and there are even talks of restarting the recently retired 3 Mile Island plant. This interest is also driving utilities around the country to seek relicensing for their reactors to operate for 80 years. All of this interest shows that there is a great market potential for the deployment of advanced nuclear power. By taking the clean, safe, and reliable traits of large-scale nuclear and shrinking the size, small modular reactors and microreactors can provide energy to a new market of end users. Data centers and AI are expanding rapidly in places like Pennsylvania and Virginia. They will be critical components of advanced economics moving forward. They are also incredibly energy intensive and are causing the largest significant increase in demand from our grid in decades. Nuclear can and should be the answer for the reliable energy that these new data centers need. Earlier this year, I visited a Westinghouse facility in Pittsburgh, where the company is using their long history of innovation to make widespread availability of microreactors a reality. Westinghouse has transformed an old steel factory in Pittsburgh into a manufacturing facility for this new technology, bringing family-sustaining jobs back to Pennsylvania. We need to do everything that we can to enable this innovation. If current regulations for nuclear waste are a hindrance for this new technology, we need to be able to have discussions on how we can safely reform them to allow advanced nuclear to thrive. Chair Hansen, the Nuclear Energy Institute sent a letter to the Office of New Reactor Regulation on May 31st with a concept paper for regulating rapid, high-volume production of microreactors in remote locations. This will require the Commission staff to think outside of the box. The paper identified 31 regulatory topics that would need to be addressed to enable this new approach to regulation. In light of what is necessary to meet these new business models, what could revolutionize the deployment of nuclear technology, and what needs to change at the staff level to get this work completed?
Congressman, thank you. As I mentioned to Congressman Pfluger, this is an area of, I think, of great interest across the Commission. There are a couple of things, I think, and I put them in 3 buckets, if you will. First is policy changes that the Commission can make itself. Then there's a potential for rulemaking. There's a provision in the ADVANCE Act that directs us to look at a microreactor-specific rulemaking that we can start working on now. And then there are potentially changes to the Atomic Energy Act itself. For example, there's a 60-day hearing notice requirement for the deployment of any new reactor. But if you have a reactor that's rolling off an assembly line in timeframes that are shorter than that, then how does that provision get implemented? I think that's just one example of potentially other issues that may need to be addressed. And I think we should proceed with the issues that the Commission can tackle itself now, but then work with the Congress going forward on any other changes that are needed.
Well, let's continue that, because I think you bring a great discussion point into this. Another NEI letter on May 8th of this year highlighted a recent agency differing professional opinion, a DPO, which took nearly 950 days to resolve and delayed efforts to deploy accident-tolerant fuel, a critical advancement for safety. The recently enacted ADVANCE Act, which we've all been referencing, directs the NRC to fix this broken process. Chair Hansen, what does the slow DPO process signify about leadership and management's ability to ensure NRC performance that doesn't hinder the benefits of nuclear technology?
Yeah, well, obviously, Congressman, we shouldn't have a 950-day DPO process. Differing professional opinions and the accommodation of those is critical to nuclear safety culture, but we have to have a process that adjudicates those, addresses those quickly and efficiently in one way or the other so that the agency can move on with a clear decision. And it's incumbent that the Commission set expectations for senior leadership that that process reform takes place.
And I think that I really want to acknowledge you recognizing that a 950-day resolution is inadequate and unacceptable. And your leadership in this regard is paramount to turning this around. Mr. Chairman, again, I thank you for allowing me to wave on, and I yield the remainder of my time.
Gentleman yields back. We generally